Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel, and in this video I'm going to tell you about the single piece of gear that I have used the most over the past 2 years. Okay guys, so I got the idea for this video a while back, and in preparation for it I have really thought a lot about this, and I went through all of the amps and guitars and pedals and all of the gear that I've been using over the past few years to see if I could come up with the single piece of gear that I've been using the most. After I looked at everything, in the end, it wasn't even close. There was one clear winner. The piece of gear that I'm going to show you guys, I have used in almost every single video I've made in the past 2 years. And that's in addition to using it for practicing and recording. Okay, so here we go. Drum roll. And the single piece of gear that I have used the most by far in the past 2 years is my Fender GTX 100 combo amplifier. Okay, so I'm going to tell you all about this, the things I use in the amp, the things I don't use, the reason why I use it again and again and again. But to start with, I want to let you know this is not a sponsored video. Not that I would mind. But Fender did not ask me to do this video or pay me to do it or anything like that. In fact, they won't even return my emails, but that's okay. Regardless of all of that, I use this amplifier all the time. This is my go-to amplifier for doing my demo videos. So if I'm demoing a guitar or even sometimes a pedal, I use this amplifier like 90% of the time. Okay, now why do I use it all the time? Well, for starters, it is a really great sounding solid state / digital amp. So that means that if it sounds good, it's going to sound good at a low volume. So it's very easy to record with. I don't have to crank it up real loud like I do with a tube amplifier in order to get a good sound out of it. Now, another reason I use it so much is that it has such a wide variety of sounds in it. Not only does it have really good high gain sounds that sound nothing like a traditional Fender sound like you would expect, but it has those really great classic super clean tones as well. And a thing about the clean tones, you can get this amp so clean that if you're going to use a pedal that's meant to be used with a really clean amp, let's say it's like a really high gain distortion pedal, where you want to get all of the distortion and tone from the pedal, you can set this amp up to be just sparkling clean, like no gain whatsoever, no dirt whatsoever, very transparent, clean sound. And then you put like a really nasty distortion pedal in front of it, and you get all the sound from the pedal, and then you can really hear what the pedal sounds like without the amp changing the tone very much. That's one of my favorite things about it. When you use effects pedals on this amplifier, you get a really true sound of what the pedal itself sounds like, rather than some weird, really specific combination of the pedal and an amplifier. Okay, another thing I love about the amplifier is it has a really good noise gate in it. You guys, if you're familiar with my channel, you know I do a lot of high gain playing, a lot of distortion, a lot of overdrive. If you are using a high gain pedal or even just high gain amplifier settings and you don't have a noise gate, a good noise gate, it makes it really difficult to use the amplifier because you have to keep rolling the volume back on your guitar and making sure you're muting all the strings all the time, like if I stop playing and that I'm talking or something like that. But if you have a really effective noise gate like this amplifier does, you don't have to worry about that stuff so much. And sometimes I use really cheap pedals that kind of create extra noise, and I can deal with that through the noise gate. The other thing that's fantastic about this amplifier, and another reason I use it so much, is because it has such a nice library of built-in effects that are just built into the amplifier. I mean, I won't go through everything. I've done a full review on this amplifier before, but there's a huge variety of effects and really cool stuff like stereo effects, like stereo delays, stereo reverbs and flangers and so forth to get you just these really, really crazy out there, really pristine effects sounds, and it's all coming from within the amplifier. Sometimes I get people asking me in the comments section, hey, what pedals are you using? What pedals are you using with that amplifier in order to get those tones? My answer is always the same, unless I'm reviewing a pedal or something like that, where it's like, no, this particular pedal is what I'm checking out. Unless I'm doing something like that, all the effects I'm getting are usually coming from the built-in effects in the amplifier. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys some sound samples in just a second here, and I'm also going to talk about the cost of this amplifier and how that relates to other amplifiers that do similar things. But the other thing I want to mention here, I want to be totally honest with you guys, there are a bunch of features in this amplifier that I never use. And that would be things like connecting it to the Fender app and downloading, sound patches and stuff off of their online library. I did that like a couple times when I first got the amplifier. I basically never use it for that. And there's like a looper in it. I never use the looper. It's got a built-in tuner. I never use the tuner. I really like it. It has a really nice foot switch. Actually, I think I might have it back here. And yeah, here's the foot switch. And I don't know if you can see, but yeah, it's covered in dust. The foot switch stays in the back of the amplifier. And granted, part of that has to do with the fact that not very many people, myself included, have been playing shows in the past 2 years. So it's not like I'm going to be taking this amplifier out and playing a show with it. It's been sitting here in my apartment. So there's not a big reason for me to use the foot switch. If I was using the looper or something like that, then I would probably use the foot switch. But, all the controlling I do just through the controls that are up here on the top of the amplifier. And those controls work great. I never really feel like I need the foot switch. So my whole point with that is that I don't really think those kind of more high-tech, more modern features, to me, those are not really big selling points of the amplifier, just because I found that I rarely use that stuff. The things that are really important to me that I do use is basically the sounds, the actual amp tones that I can get from the amplifier, the effects, and then how easy it is to record with. And that includes all of the input-output stuff that's on the back of the amplifier, because this has like a stereo effects loop and a USB output and a headphone jack. All that stuff I do use. And to me, those are really the big selling points of it. Okay guys, so now I'm gonna give you some actual sound samples from the amplifier. I'm gonna use my Bootlegger Royale guitar for this demo because this has a lot of different pickup configurations. You can get a lot of different tones out of this guitar, and I think that's gonna go well with all of the different tones that you can get out of the amplifier. So we'll go ahead and plug this in and check it out, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the cost of the amplifier and how that compares to other amplifiers that are on the market. Okay, let's plug everything in and listen to how it sounds. Okay guys, so there were a few sounds from the Fender GTX 100 amplifier. So this amp goes for around $500. Now the amp has been on the market for a while. I've had the amp about 2 years, and something to consider is that this amp is 500 bucks, but they make a 50 watt version, but the features are all pretty much the same, and I've even seen it for sale like with the foot switch for like 400 bucks. So if you don't need an amplifier that's as big and loud as this one is, but you still want all of the features, you can save 100 bucks and get the 50 watt version. And you can compare that to other amplifiers that do similar things that are on the market these days. And I'm thinking of like an amplifier like the Spark, right? The Positive Grid Spark, which a lot of people are talking about. And I reviewed one a while back when they first came out. And those are cool amplifiers with a lot of cool features, but they're not going to be nearly as loud and usable in like a real live either concert or rehearsal situation as an amplifier like this will be, because this is 100 watts. This one here includes a foot switch. It's fairly light, it's easy to carry around, and it's still really, really loud, and it has really good projection as well. And so to me, this amplifier is the right combination of like all of these modern high-tech features. You know, you can use the app if you want to, but you don't have to. You can do all of your patch editing and everything just through the controls on the amplifier, so you're not forced to like hook up your phone to it or a tablet or something like that. So yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is that this amplifier has the right combination of all of these new high-tech modern features and still has the old school power and real life usability that you want in a classic amplifier. Of all the pieces of gear I've gotten in the past 2 or even earlier than that, you know, because there's a lot of gear that I have that I got, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 10 years ago that I don't use anymore because I have this. This thing, like, basically almost every time I play guitar, I use this amplifier. Not 100%, but like well into, you know, 90% of the time I go for this amplifier. Okay guys, but as always, I want to hear from you. Are there any other Fender GTX owners out there? What has your ownership experience been like? Do you have any favorite features? Maybe something I didn't mention. We would love to hear about all that stuff down in the comment section below. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always guys, I'm going to have links for everything I was talking about in the video down in the video description below. I will have a link for the amplifier, the guitar, which is again is the Bootlegger Royal, and I did a full review of that earlier. I've got a separate video for that. And I will also have links for my social media and my latest instructional video, which is called Extreme Speed Tapping. All right guys, thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you soon.